Great good morning, everyone. It is a beautiful Friday, May 29, year of our Lord 2026. It's 9:10 and change on my Cordaro Jeweler's watch. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he. Broadcasting today from the United States of America, the greatest country ever. It's also the place where the brave, like veterans, we will salute today, thanks to John Basiliga and his great Basiliga hospitality group. But we've lost them, and we need to remember them. Like Robert Chereniak, Sugarloaf, Michael Paisley, Hazelton, Donald Naughton, Dunmore via North Scranton, Ronald Anderson, Valier, PA. He was from Madison Township. Frank Bannon, Kingston, by South Wilkes-Barre. Paul Bittler, Bloomsburg. The United States of America, founded with a certain knowledge and understanding by our amazing, irreplaceable, and profoundly wise founding fathers who knew that government should not be, could not be, and never would be if they had their way. Our parent, our guide, our direction, our salvation. Not any of these things. Because power given to government means less freedom, less liberty, and less choice for Americans. They also knew that government power, because of human nature, would be abused and should only be a necessary evil designed to protect an organized society. The United States of America, the country where, for the first time in human history, freedom was declared by law to be an unalienable right granted to each individual by God. It could not be parceled out to groups. It couldn't be controlled by government or government officials, because our great American Constitution ensures and codifies freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of association, economic freedom, and even freedom of the press, no matter how it's used or abused. Now, because they were armed with these freedoms, and only because of that fact, a ragtag bunch of immigrants, many of them rejects from around the world, they and their progeny created the richest, most powerful, most culturally diverse and accepting nation ever to grace our planet Earth. America, the only place specifically invented and designed so that every American can live their life in the manner they choose, unlimited by their background, upbringing, race, color, or creed, unhindered by the government or those who would use government to control others for their own comfort, benefit, or power. This Bob Cordaro Show, well, it'll always be convincingly conservative, lovingly logical, proudly and passionately patriotic, and reliably right. And so we gavel to order today's meeting of the Club for Common Sense, promising you that our total, immersive, immovable commitment to common sense will provide a sanctuary of sanity to all of you who hearken here for the balance of this singular, extraordinary morning. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're here. We're ready. I must say, oh, by the way, Mark the Shark from Hazelton sent this in. And this is something I should be probably. I'm not terribly interested in the UFOs situation. I got a sense, all right, of course there should be. If the universe is what it says, there are other theories that we're perceiving a universe that doesn't actually exist. But let us assume that what scientists tell us is correct, that we've got millions and millions of galaxies, never mind millions and millions of stars in this galaxy, so that there's an enormity that's beyond our comprehension. So let us assume that. That's what they tell us. And if there is, there's more than likely different forms of life who we may bump into or run across despite the vastness they claim the universe is. So, okay, But I don't know. I just don't find it very interesting. They're either going to be here or they're not. They have either been here and influenced humans, like, as they say, with the pyramids in Egypt and so forth, as well as those in Central America, or not. But I'm like, okay. They've been peaceful so far. And like everything, we try to ascribe human frailties and the human condition to beings that don't have anything to do with us. So I just look at it and say, well, yeah, are they evil? Evil aliens? Maybe. But my guess is if they were evil and they were here, they would have already destroyed us. What do they need this little planet for? So in any event, it's just not that interesting to me. If it is to you, that doesn't mean I won't talk about it, by the way. What I am concerned with, coming back to 30,000 feet from trillions and trillions of light years, I do not understand this negotiation with Iran. I really don't. HVAC dude says, are we talking aliens today? Because I'll postpone my job assignment to listen to all 3 hours of the show. HVAC dude, if you want to talk about it, feel free. And by the way, anybody, 570-883-0098 to call or to text. I will talk about it. It's a theoretical concept that I don't have problem speculating about. What I'm concerned about today, though, is why, what has it been, 6 weeks of this fake ceasefire and fake negotiations? I just feel like I'm missing something here. And I tell you what I would do if I was president. I would tell the Israelis, kill the next batch of Iranian leadership. As many as you can. Kill them all. I'll continue the blockade, and I'm going to do whatever it takes, including troops on the ground, to open the Strait of Hormuz. Those are the three things I would do. But this fake negotiation, they're not going to... Who doesn't know? And I've not been frustrated with Trump other than his occasional silliness, whether it's his Truth Social postings or whatever. I haven't been frustrated with Trump to this level because I'm hoping and praying I'm missing something. What am I missing? Number one, Iran is evil. Their leadership is evil. Their ideology is evil. Number two, they were attempting to develop, we played Marco Rubio from 2015 yesterday. I've played him a number of times. Number two, they were attempting to get a nuclear weapon so that they could bring about their version of the apocalypse, the return of the 12th Imam, through chaos and destruction by using the weapon. Number three, their ballistic missile program, which Obama, who was weak and awful president, and Biden, who was a sickening disgrace, allowed to build up dramatically, and that was intended to protect their nuclear development. They were literally an existential threat. You do a nuclear weapon, you do a nuclear detonation in the Middle East against Israel, and they would have done it against the Arabs, because remember, they're not Arabs. They're Persian. And you would have had end of the world type nonsense happening. Chaos. Now, knowing that they lie and that What is it called? Tariq? My guy, Mark Mayer, always reminds me of it. Their religion tells them you can lie to advance the religion. It's something that's a foreign concept to us. So we have this evil, which has been fomenting evil through proxies and directly for decades and against Americans for decades. We do the right thing. Trump does it regardless of political calculation. I'm so proud of him for that. They never live up to anything they say. So right now, we're not killing any of their leadership. We are not degrading any of their capabilities. We are, thankfully, putting them in quarantine and making it more difficult for them to sell oil. It is happening, but it's more difficult. What are we waiting for? What are we negotiating for? I'm not getting it. I really don't get it. Somebody said, so if you're president, you put troops on the ground, you could tell you never served. That has nothing to do. I never served. It's the only way to open the straits. People know that. Somebody else, Bob, I support Trump, but he's in over his head with Iran, and they hold the upper hand now. That I don't agree with. But I don't know what he's doing. I don't understand it. I'm just not getting it. Lee, we probably share the same confusion. By the way, back to the aliens, HVA Do says, my opinion is the aliens have always been here. It's only now that we have the technology to notice. Okay. Now, and he's on the blower. All right, HVAC, hang in with me. I've got to take a break. We'll come back. We're going to talk to HVAC dude about aliens and UFOs. I got my Iran statement off my chest. We'll be back. Why, oh, why, when the weather's finally getting warm, would we be thinking about Bing Crosby? Well, and White Christmas. This date, 1942, he recorded this iconic hit at Radio Recorders, Los Angeles, California. They're getting ready for the... and then when you think about it, I'm dreaming of a White Christmas. Well, you could dream that any part of the year, couldn't you? So, Bing Crosby. Bob Cordaro back with you on WILK. Just a reminder, Roach Supply bringing you the live stream where you go to YouTube and put Bob Cordaro Show, WILK, and you'll find me. I've got my, it's got like a little American flag and stuff shirt, black shirt on today. But Roach Supply, premier bath and kitchen supplier in Northeast Pennsylvania. 75 years in business, which means they're great. That's who you want to deal with. RoachSupply.com, ROCHE. RoachSupply.com today. All right. We're on the aliens subject. So, and here's why it came to me. Mark the Shark from Hazelton sent this in to me. And Trump is doing this. So it's a good thing. He says, we are not afraid to trust the American people with unpleasant facts, foreign ideas, alien philosophies, and competitive values. For a nation that is afraid to let its people judge the truth and falsehood in an open market is a nation that is afraid of its people. And by the way, you saw our previous leaders were, and Trump's given us he's given us the info. And here's HVAC dude. By the way, is this the first time I've spoken to you?
You know what, Bob? I think we often text, but it might be the first time that I'm live on air.
I absolutely love it.
Hey, first I got to say, Merv's always bringing the hits. Love it.
Isn't he? He really is.
Every day. So,
he's the best.
You know what? I'll tell you how we can open up that strait. The aliens, they could do it.
They probably could if they exist. I didn't bring you on for jokes, though. You know, I'll do the jokes around here. Okay, HVAC.
No, to be, well, yeah, you tell enough jokes between you and Lorraine. You guys tell enough jokes to have your own comedy show. You know, and I'm waiting to hear from Lorraine because I want to hear what she has to say about the aliens. So maybe she'll call in next.
You know what? If she calls today, I will actually ask her. Why not? Right?
Okay, great. So, my point that I was making is, our technology has advanced so much over such a short period of time. And I think it's only now that we have the technology to see what has always been there.
Mm-hmm.
But my question is, why is the United States of America the only country on Earth that is releasing these files and these documents and these
because we're the only one
videos
under Trump? Because that's why I read this quote from JFK. Under Trump, there's an administration that's not afraid of the people.
Okay,
I think, and that's huge. We're not afraid of them. Here's the deal. You figure it out. You're smart enough to handle it, and we haven't had that either here or in other countries for sure.
You know what, Bob? You gave too much of the population of the United States too much credit by saying we're all smart enough. Because I'll tell you what, there's only a small percentage of us that are smart enough.
Their willful stupidity. There's something else behind it. There's not a native stupidity, but
I think
there's a willful stupidity.
I think a lot of that goes back to your childhood education. And, at those very influential ages is where you do most of your learning, is where you're educated and you develop knowledge. Of course, throughout the rest of your life, you pick up and build on those things. But it all comes back to, education and, the way that your parents and your family raised you. I put a lot of stock in that. But here's the question I wanted to ask you. If we do receive all of this information in regards to UFOs and aliens, do you think it's going to disrupt the social constructs that are in place now?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't think any of this, like they're saying, well, the religious leaders, the religious leaders that are afraid and are clinging to power. But any religious leader will, my gosh, we have a concept of how big the universe is, how big our existence is, and how small we are in comparisons.
It's not even anything the human mind can comprehend.
Correct.
It's
true.
that big.
And so
and it's awfully,
why be afraid
it's
of
awfully ignorant to believe that we're here by ourselves.
Yes.
Do you agree?
It's almost crazy to make that assumption. There's no point.
I concur.
God didn't create this universe for just us. That I don't believe.
For sure. So check it out. I'm staring at a chiller right now, and I really don't want to do any work. It's a beautiful Friday, but you know what? Like
But damn it, you're an American HVAC dude. You're gonna do what you got to do, right?
Right? Yeah, exactly. One more thing before I part ways. Like a lot of people in northeastern Pennsylvania are always down on northeastern Pennsylvania. There's nothing to do.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm here to tell you there's nothing to do because you don't go out and look for anything to do. Mm-hmm. The past few nights I was at the hockey game. I was at the baseball game last night.
Did they win?
They lost 4-2 game one, but tonight they're going to be back at it, and hopefully the Pens even up the series before they go to Toronto. And I was at the ball game last night. We have so many like awesome things to do around here.
There's nothing
there's the Kirby
missing.
Center. There's the Kirby Center. There's state parks.
I lived in New York City.
So much to do.
I lived in Philly. I lived in Los Angeles. I lived in Washington, D.C. There's nothing missing here. Nothing. I agree with you 100%.
You just got to go out there and do it.
Yep. Amen.
Hey, you have a great day, and you enjoy your weekend. It was a pleasure talking with you, and we'll do it again.
You make sure you do it again. I said you're like the greatest generation. They wouldn't talk. Now we can't get them to shut up. Thank you, HVAC dude, very much. That's a first call from HVAC dude, who's a regular contributor. That's good stuff. Let's take our break. Bob Cordaro, WILK, will be back with our Veterans Tribute, the weather, and then some sunshine from Tina Morocco. Our Veterans Tribute this hour, as with every hour, this day as with every day, brought to you proudly, dutifully, and patriotically by our man, John Basiliga, and his great Basiliga Hospitality Group, because it's Friday. It's time to get down. Well, 3-bar restaurants to do that, as good as any place, anywhere. The Old Brook Inn, 307 Springbrook Township. The Far Street Tavern on Far Street in the Great Trips Park section of West Scranton, and downtown Oliphant's new jewel, the Queen City Tavern. Fine dining, yep, the best anywhere. A Terra 519, a modern take on an amazing drinking and dining experience. The Stegmar Mansion, the old world version of all of that. A Terra downtown Scranton, Stegmaier downtown Wilkes-Barre. Robert Chereniak. He was 82 when we lost him May 15th. He was from Sugarloaf. He passed at his home surrounded by his loving family after an extended illness. They say he was a man of deep faith, tireless dedication, and generous spirit. Bob touched the lives of all who knew him. Born in Hazleton, spent the past 48 years in Sugarloaf. A proud 1962 graduate of Hazleton High School. He served with honor in the United States Navy, 1962 to 1966. Bob devoted 32 years to Pennsylvania Power and Light, including at the Berwick Power Plant. He served many roles: lineman, union rep, engineer. Devoted member of St. John the Baptist Byzantine Catholic Church in Hazleton, where his faith was the cornerstone of his life. He was one of the great voices in the parish choir. Bob was equally committed to his community. A proud and long-standing member of the Knights of Columbus, Our Lady of Fatima Council, rising all the way to a distinguished position of Pennsylvania State Deputy in the Knights of Columbus. Member of the Valley Vets Post and the Cunningham Borough Zoning Board. He loved polka music, the Phillies, golfer, mechanic. Tragically preceded in death by his son, Christopher Chereniak. Survived by his devoted wife of more than 55 years, Maureen Myers Chereniak. His daughter, Kimberly Rayer, and her husband, Thomas of Wayne. 2 grandsons, a twin sister, Ann Hudak of Whitehaven, and other family members. Robert Chereniak. Michael Paisley. We lost him May 20th at age 94. He was from Hazleton. Graduate of Hazleton High School, 1950. Attended upholstery school, a talent he utilized for years. He served all of us in the U.S. Army, a proud member of the 101st Airborne, and I will guarantee you very few people knew that. That's real fighting men. Most of his service time was spent in Germany as part of the finance corps. He took that skill into civilian life, working in the finance department of Tobyhanna Army Depot for 35 years. When he retired in 1990, he was chief of pay in the examination branch. His family calculated they had driven enough miles to make it to the moon and back. His life was centered around his family, with his soulmate and love, the former Natalie Durso. The children's theme song, We Are Paisley Kids, was written by Michael. Just one of the many songs he wrote. He shared his musical talent with all his family. The Paisley family enjoyed many adventures. He was a carpenter, a plumber, mechanic, electrician, Mr. Fix-It for the family. Continued to share his music throughout his life as a member of the MPB Folk Group and the MPB Community Players. Preceded in death by his wife Natalie in 2021. He survived by his children. Blessed with 15 grandchildren. And the next generation, great-grandchildren, 2 of them. Michael Paisley, our great veterans this hour, Brought to you by John Basiliga and the great Basiliga Hospitality Group. AccuWeather forecast, and it's a good one, certainly for today. Brought to you by the gang at Montage Mountain. They're swinging into summer. They're ready for action. You better get ready, too. Today, sun followed by some clouds and pleasant. Breezy this afternoon, high 78. Tonight, a shower, becoming windier, low 46. Tomorrow, windy and cooler. That's Saturday, with clouds giving way to some sun. It'll only get up to about 66, low of 42. Sunday, warmer with intervals of clouds and sunshine. Nice day for outdoor activities. 75 degrees, low of 50. Monday, mostly sunny with a passing shower in the afternoon. 71 degrees, low 48. All the way into Tuesday, they're saying sunshine and some clouds with a shower possible. High 73, low 45. And that's your weather from the gang at Montage Mountain Resort. 61 degrees at Montage Mountain right now. We love Wes Austin on Instagram. Love him. Hey, you know that song. And you know that girl. It's Tina Morocco, Global Sales Advisor at Sotheby's International Realty in Naples, Florida. She's your trusted guide for Florida real estate, specializing in Southwest Florida. You could reach her through Sotheby's International Realty in Naples, or go right to the source. Tina Morocco, MURACCO.com, or on any social media. Here she is. Hi, Tina.
Hey, Bob. How are you?
Well, the sun continues to shine as long as you're here.
I wish I could control that.
Well, you're helping it seems, anyway.
That's good. That's good.
So what's on your mind today?
So today, a few weeks ago, we talked about the Southwest Florida PGA Golf Pass. Remember that? So over the summertime, people they can get the golf pass and play at these private clubs, which is amazing. You know, whether you're here on vacation or if you live here in Southwest Florida during the summertime and even the early fall, it's just a great deal. But we have the same or similar type of thing with regards to our resorts, and this is year-round. So if you're, say you're staying in an Airbnb in Southwest Florida, anywhere around Southwest Florida, and you don't have a pool or you're looking for something to do, this Southwest Florida Resort Pass, if you go to southwestfloridaresortpass.com, they have a list of all of these high-end resorts that you can go to just for the day. You pay a fee, like sometimes the fee ranges from like $25 to a couple $100, just depends on the resort. And you can just stay and play at the resort all day long.
How about
that? You can take advantage of their pools, their restaurants, like anywhere from like the Ritz-Carlton has it. They have like all kinds of like the Hyatt Regency, the beach resorts have them. So it's really like a nice, kind of benefit. You don't have to stay there, but you can still play there.
So if I'm in my, little normal house in Southwest Florida, I do this resort thing, and I've got access to all of these places. How neat is that?
Yes. So, it's a different fee per resort, but really you just go online and just check it out. It's a great way just to check out the resort too.
Yeah.
If you don't want to stay there, it's just like, why not use their pools, their lazy rivers, their restaurants, have that lounge chair with the beach service, all of that stuff. that's basically what's on my mind today.
Well, and it's funny because just you mentioned the Ritz-Carlton specifically. It's so
Mhm.
expensive. It's just not on my horizon. But I
Not on most
remember
people.
going up there before they really checked you in. I was staying there
Mhm.
20 years ago, roughly.
Mhm.
And I
Yeah.
go into their health club, the spa or
Mhm.
whatever it's called. They had
Right.
fresh squeezed orange juice.
Yeah.
Like
Well, from Florida.
I would pay for a pass to go there, and then they have that incredible beach bar, but I ain't paying to stay there. So that's neat.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Huh. Great
So the
stuff.
Ritz-Carlton, not only the beach resort has this, but also the Ritz-Carlton, the Tiburon, the golf resort has it.
Mm.
Because at the golf resort, they just redid all of their, amenities. They look great. So yeah, it's fun. It's a great way. Even if you live in Southwest Florida, it's a great staycation.
Yeah,
Why
it is.
not?
Just
Mhm.
another incredible thing to do in Southwest Florida. And I tell you,
Mhm.
people that are afraid to go down Southwest Florida in the summer, the heat is not that bad at all.
No,
And the
it's not.
crowds are less and
Mhm.
the cost is less. It's a pretty good time to go.
Exactly. You don't have to get a reservation at the restaurants. You can walk right in. The traffic is less, like you said, and it's just, we have that coastal breeze. So, it is hot. There's no getting around that. But, we're breezy.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, it's
Very
a great
neat.
time to visit. Hmm.
Well, thank you so much, Tina.
Absolutely.
Just another tidbit we love to hear. I appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Thank you, Tina.
Thanks, Bob. Take care.
That's Tina Morocco, Global Sales Advisor, Sotheby's International Realty in Naples, Florida. You could reach her through Sotheby's. She is your trusted guide to Florida real estate, specializing in Southwest Florida. You can also reach her at tinamorocco.com, MURACCO, or on any social media. Thank you again, our girl Tina. 9:50 on the Picardo's watch. I could listen to this song for the entire tune. But this date, 1961, Murph tells us, and he, by the way, HVAC dude, he says thank you for the shout out. But Ricky Nelson moved up to number one with his hit Travelin' Man. Bob Cordaro back. And my sister-in-law Joy, and I saw this earlier, just didn't get to it. She texted me today. And she said, there's this crazy picture I couldn't figure out. Then I ran up, moved up and listened to read the text. And she says, give a shout out to Helene Kish. She's turning 87 years old today, and she and her husband are avid listeners and listening every day. And she gives an overview to her daughter, Donna, who works in clinical with Joy. That's a great one. She's got a picture with these half-naked men, I guess dressed up as Kiss, with Helene Kish. I love it. Helene, happy, happy, happy birthday. Thanks for being with us. You and your husband, thank you for being with us every day. This is why I love hanging around you guys. I really, truly do. By the way, totally switching subjects from Helene's birthday and her picture with these half-naked Kiss characters. Today, I read the Bishop Robert Barron, Catholic readings every day. And today is Christ confronting the money changers in the temple. And, that's what we're trying to do. When we're harsh, we remember, and maybe it gives us leeway to go too far sometimes. We remember Christ sort of slapped some people around when he had to. I don't think Helene ever did, but but happy birthday to Helene. A couple of texts that worth noting. Somebody texting, gas prices go up, Trump is a hero. Gas prices go up, Biden is a scumbag, Republican hypocrites. Why did they go up? See, you're ignoring facts. You're completely ignoring facts. Why did prices go up when Biden was in office? Because they wanted them to. So that you would switch to their green energy, which is a scam. That's why they did it. Trump gas prices are going up because he's taking down the Nazi Germany of today. That's why. You don't get the difference. Why I can't even help you. By the way, electrician texted in on this thing. He goes, Bob, not to sound like Larry from Plymouth, but my theory on aliens is that a different civilization created artificial intelligence, much like us, to the point where it replicated itself and built drones that can survive the thousands of years crossing the expanses of space, and they have influenced our civilization. That's a fascinating theory, electrician. One that I certainly would not dismiss. Now, on another subject, Bob, it looks to me like a bunch of short stock trades. Buy low, sell high, straight open, straight closed. Trump also said he doesn't care about the midterms. Why should we knock ourselves out for nothing? Well, here's a very important answer. Because the country itself is at stake because of the insanity that has engulfed and controls the Democrat Party. Nobody's saying the Republicans are perfect or even great. They're at least passable. And the difference between conservative values, Republican, at least what they profess, is night and day with the sick, twisted leadership of the Democrat Party. Night and day. And the results are night and day, too, by the way. So I get your frustration. I share some of it. But the listener continues. It looks like another Bush-Cheney-Halliburton money grab. So sad for America because Democrats are evil and insane, and their policies will destroy the country with open borders everywhere and transgender ideology everywhere. Please remember that. one more because we're way past time. I forget who said it, but the quote is, there are two possibilities. Either we are alone in the universe or we are not, and both are terrifying. You're right. And now of one of these troll asses. Trump sure is afraid of the American people, referencing the JFK quote, to release all the Epstein files. He released everything. And think of how terrified your scumbags were. 4 years, they didn't release a peep. They didn't release a page. Trump's released more than they've ever thought of releasing under your scumbag. So put that in your pipe and smoke it during the news. 10:02. Well, I'm sorry. My Picardo Jewelers watch says it's 10:03. Way past. We'll take this break. We'll listen to the news. We'll come back. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. Great good morning, everyone. It is 10:10 a.m. on my Cordaro Jewelers watch this beautiful Friday, May 29, year of our Lord 2026 here in the great Northeast. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he, and it's a big day to fight for America, defend our values, and honor with the help of our man John Basiliga and his great Basiliga hospitality group, the brave, who have made us and kept us free. People like Michael Paisley, Hazelton, Robert Chereniak, Sugarloaf, Donald Naughton, Dunmore, by way of North Scranton, Ronald Anderson, Valier, PA, but he was from Madison Township, Frank Bannon, Kingston, by way of South Wilkes-Barre, and Paul Bittler, Bloomsburg, the United States of America, whose history and whose amazing founding fathers and the incomparable Constitution of the United States of America, they will be our guides. So let us continue today's battle. Gabbling back to order this meeting of the Club for Common Sense after that brief news adjournment, promising you that our deep and unalterable commitment to common sense will provide a sanctuary of sanity for all who hearken here. Joe from Trips Park texts in, we let Iran go too far. Tons of underground bases and drones. You've seen the films of it, I'm sure. I mean, all of the money that Biden let them earn and that he handed to them, all of the money that Obama handed to them was used, and here's a true word I'm sick of this word, weaponize. They literally weaponized their country, hardened its defenses, while adding dramatically to its offensive capabilities on its march towards a nuclear weapon. Idiotic policy. Idiotic policy. Somebody takes in Bob LTS. We need Thune to get rid of that stupid filibuster because there will always be a few Thomas Masseys and Rand Pauls out there constantly bickering and raising libertarian issues and killing good legislation. Well, Thomas Massey is just a goof. Rand Paul, I think, is a principled libertarian, and I really don't have a problem with that. But don't forget, it's Mikulski from Alaska, Susan Collins. Who's the clown from North Carolina that's retiring? He and Mitch McConnell. You've got 4 of your 53 votes throw you under 49 right away because they're anti-Trump. I don't know. I don't have a clear read on Thune, but he's killing us by not getting rid of this filibuster. Somebody said, Bob, tell us about the $200 million USAID Ukraine deal that funded Biden's campaign. Why isn't that a bigger deal? Well, it hasn't been proven yet. I would just urge you to keep following John Solomon of Just the News. He is researching it, and they are investigating it because there were statements in emails. That's all it is at this point. And I played it yesterday. Statements and emails from Ukrainian officials to USAID officials saying that they were going to do this. That doesn't mean they did it. It just points out the corruption of USAID. Tom from Dallas is on Joe Biden and his wife. We had another Woodrow Wilson situation, but way more egregious. In Wilson's situation, he had a stroke, and his wife took over for about 17 months. In Joe Biden's case, his mind was mush, and his wife, who considers herself a doctor, wanted to play president for years and really wanted to do 4 years. She didn't care about her husband and what he looked like in the debate. It reminds me of that quote, behind every great man is a strong woman. In Joe Biden's case, it's behind every terrible man is an even worse woman. Somebody texts in, Dear Bob, ALTS, today's JFK's birthday anniversary, which is why Mark the Shark sent that quote. And I had to explain it to Mark why that led me to UFOs. And the reason it led me to the UFO discussion is that contrary to JFK's quote, that a country has to trust its people to give them the information, good, bad, and ugly, our country had not done that regarding UFOs until Trump. Somebody texted in, a comedian once said everyone questions who built the pyramids in Egypt, yet no one questioned who built the ones in Mexico. Shows how hard Mexicans work. We don't even question it. Well, no, they're in the same vein. They're not as colossal. And at least the history that I've read, I get the comedian, but the point is the technology to put these pyramids together, whether they be larger in the case of Egypt or a little smaller in the case of Central America, it's technology that we have not been able to replicate, and we don't know how they put them together. Rich McHale says, Morning, Bob. I'm able to watch you on YouTube now that I got Starlink up here in the Poconos. Still no radio. And good. And he says, it's nice to be part of the show again. Way to go, Rich. He says, go get him, my buddy, ALTS. ALTS back at you, Rich McHale. Bob LTS, when I talk to people who are independent who voted for Trump, they voted to get out of the Biden economy. Everyone would say Trump's a businessman and owner. Now they feel like he's not paying attention to the economy and turning into Bush 1 foreign policy president. While the American people suffer with high gas prices and grocery prices, not good for the midterms. It's essential for the world, though, not just us. Very important. Trump made this calculation. At the rate they were building drones and ballistic missiles, they were going to be able to hold the world hostage while they developed their nuclear weapon if he waited the 8 months until the midterms or after the midterms. And he said, we're going to lose lives. We're going to lose ships possibly if we wait the extra 8 months and give them that much more time to accumulate weaponry and power. And I'm proud for that. Pastor Mitch says, Merry Christmas, Happy Easter. He is risen. ALTS. Back at you, Pastor Mitch. I celebrate Jesus every day, not just holidays. God bless you, Bob. He has. Thank you, Pastor Mitch. Somebody texts in, what makes Massey a goof? He's one of these contrarians who does not have a logic or a path. I'd ask you to compare him to Rand Paul, a principled libertarian. And look at Massey's obstructionism. And by the way, look at what he's accomplished, which is zero. He's a goofball. He was an obstructionist in the House of Representatives. Somebody says, well, your history teachers likely reference General January and General February quite often. I don't know what that is. What you're not contending with is general geography as it relates to Iran. I don't know what that means. Iran shut down the strait with small boats and drones. Imagine what they do with a nuclear weapon. Okay, now I'm getting it. They break these texts up, so my apologies. Particularly as it relates to the Strait of Hormuz. Exactly. And there was a good analysis. I'm trying to remember if it was in the Wall Street Journal or not. There's been an Iranian tax, essentially, on all of our energy, therefore all of our prices, since this sick, twisted theocracy took over Iran. So there's been an ongoing cost to Iran's insanity on top of what we're seeing now. Somebody thinks, how much money AIPAC giving you, Bob? I mean, okay. You're going down the Tucker Carlson rabbit hole? Sorry, I'm not. I'm for America. And if you don't see, this is the insanity. If you don't think, and Tucker Carlson, I loved him for years. He's getting paid. There's no other way. There's no other rationale for what he's saying and doing now. And his extreme Israeli hatred. See, is the hatred of Israel and Jews is its own TDS. Let's call it JDS. Jewish derangement syndrome. And it doesn't allow certain people like Tucker to see past it to our own interest, America's own interest. Imagine what would happen. I want you to game it out. Imagine what would happen if a couple of nuclear weapons were detonated in the Middle East, in Israel, and then in Saudi Arabia, for example. The world would never be the same. Imagine and play that out. The death, destruction, and the responses that would then be necessary. You're not thinking clearly because you got JDS. You're not thinking clearly. And Tucker Carlson's gone. He's making a complete ass of himself. Candace Owens the same. Shameful. Anyway, we're way past the time. We've got to hear from our sponsors. We've got to hear a little history, a little music, and then you at 570-883-0098. And reminding you, just like Rich McHale, you could go to the live stream. You can go to YouTube, Bob Cordaro and WILK. Look for today's date. And it's all brought to you by our friends at Roach Supply, the premier bath and kitchen supplier in Northeast Pennsylvania. 75 years in business. That means they're great and honest at what they do. Roach, ROCHE, supply.com. The Beach Boys. They moved up to number 1 this date, 1965, Murph tells us, with their hit, Help Me, Rhonda. Bob Cordaro back with you. And in 1953, this date, Mount Everest conquered Edmund Hillary of New Zealand and Tenzing Norgay of Nepal. Don't forget, that's how we got up there. Became the first climbers to reach the summit. And Hillary Clinton. You look at people like Biden, you look at people like Paige Cognetti, Hillary Clinton. She made up how she got her name. She claimed it was after Edmund Hillary, but the years didn't work out. These are truly crazy people, so you know. They're truly crazy. The listener who brought that up, General January and February, pertaining to Germans on the Eastern Front, proceeding into Russia, the bitter cold, the logistical nightmare, food and fuel replenishment. I never heard of that. The listener thought it was common knowledge. And by the way, it could be. It is not common to me. I'm happy it's common to you. You're a step ahead of me. That's good stuff. That's why I listen to the listeners, because you guys are smarter than me. So thank you for that. I'll try to remember that. General January and February. The Eastern Front. Somebody back on the Massey subject. From my understanding, the reason why Massey was an obstructionist every time, he was a no vote because he got them to remove some kind of bad pork from the bill, and then he'd vote yes for it. In my opinion, it sounds like we need more like him. Here's the problem, and it's my problem with Rand Paul also, by the way. And by the way, he teamed up with Ro Khanna, one of the most despicable phonies in the House, on this Epstein scam. That was another thing that disturbed me about him. But let's go separately from that. That was one of the problems I had with him. And by the way, I'm not saying there's nothing good about him. I'm just saying he was silly and he was an obstructionist to the Republican. You can only go as far as you could go. You can only get what you could get. I don't have a problem with the big mediocre bill. That's all they could get. I'm just not going to call it the big beautiful bill, because it ain't. Crazy. Somebody else texted in, Bob, people complaining about the economy have never really experienced adversity or hard times. That may be true. The listener continues, they would not be able to survive nuclear devastation in the U.S. at the hands of the Iranians. Never. Let us assume they couldn't reach the United States. They had weapons technology to reach virtually all of Europe. This is ballistic missile technology. To reach virtually all of Europe. You don't think those wet noodles would have collapsed? The Europeans wouldn't have collapsed if they knew they could reach Paris with a nuclear weapon? We'd be alone in the world. So let's take it to its first logical step. They had the ballistic missile capability to get to Paris. Now, let us assume, well, you don't have to assume it. They were going to get a nuclear weapon if we didn't stop them. They proved to Paris that, and the French and the Europeans, that they could reach them with nuclear capability. Number one, it doesn't matter if they can convince them. They said they were going to use it. If you just irradiated the Middle East, the world would go into a chaos, an economic chaos like we haven't seen since the Dark Ages. Now you hit Europe. Katie bar the door. Trump saw this and had the cojones to stop it. And he didn't wait for politics. Might not have been tomorrow, but it would have been within that time frame by good estimates. And waiting till after the midterms was not an option. And it had nothing to do with the Israelis. Zero. Yeah, it was existential to them, but our way of life would have been snuffed out by the Iranians. And by the way, that was their stated intent. Stated intent. We'll finish just because we have another ass. The Epstein scam. Yeah, the scam by the Democrats who did nothing to release the Epstein files while they were in power in the White House and in the Congress. That's right. It's a scam. And the listener continues, is that because Trump's name's all over the files? Yeah, his name's all over the files reporting Epstein to the police and the authorities. You hang on to your stupidity. I don't know why, but hang on to it. See how it works out for you. My God. We'll take a break. We'll be back. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. Our Veterans Tribute this hour, as with every hour, This day, as with every day, brought to you by our man, John Basiliga. Today, because it's Friday and it's time to enjoy these great places, we feature Basiliga Hospitality Group. The bar restaurants, including the Queen City Tavern in downtown Alvin. If you haven't been there, check it out. Everybody tells me, and I'm going to get there with my man Wayne from Einan. And I've been there myself from opening day and since. Downtown Alvin, it's brand new. It is gorgeous. Same thing with the Far Street Tavern. The reimagined Benny's, Colorassi's, on the Far Street in the Great Trips Park section of West Scranton. And the Old Brook Inn, another institution reimagined on Route 307, Springbrook Township. They are all awesome. Donald Naughton, he was from Dunmore, by way of North Scranton. We lost him May 17th. He was surrounded by his loving family, his wife of 39 years, of the former Marissa Beth. Born in Scranton, in 1973, he enlisted in the U.S. Army. He served for 3 years and was stationed in Germany. He worked for many years at the Glider Diner, Cedar Jet Yarn, and Genelite Company. He was a New York Mets fan, loved the Mets versus Yankee rivalry. Coached many years at the Trip Park Missy League. Can be seen riding the field tractor, making every softball field in pristine condition. An invaluable contribution you barely think about. Also surviving his son, daughters, grandchildren, 6 of them, brothers, sisters, the great Naughton family, nieces, nephews, and other family members. Donald Naughton. Ronald Anderson. We lost him April 29th this year. Born in Valier, PA. He passed peacefully at his home in Madison Township. First married to Ada Rarig. He later married Andrea Bush Anderson, with whom he resided in Wyalusing for a time. For more than 30 years, he shared a life with Lorraine Courtwright and her family, built on care and enduring love. Ronald was preceded in death by his infant son, tragically, Daniel Anderson. Survived, though, by 4 children. His grandsons, 7 of them. He graduated from Montgomery Township High School before serving in the U.S. Navy. He began a career in construction after the Navy, most recently with M.J. Spot. He believed in doing things the right way and paid close attention to detail. He was fond of hunting and fishing and nature. Ronald Anderson, our great veterans this hour, brought to you by John Basiliga and the Basiliga Hospitality Group. AccuWeather forecast. Well, that's brought to you by the gang at Montage Mountain. Today, sun followed by some clouds and pleasant, breezy this afternoon, high 78. Tonight, a shower possible, becoming windier, low 46. Tomorrow, windy and cooler with clouds giving way to some sun, 66 degrees, low 42. Sunday, warmer with intervals of clouds and sunshine. Nice day for outdoor activities, high 75, low 50. Monday, mostly sunny with a passing shower in the afternoon, 71 degrees, low 48. Tuesday, sunshine and some clouds with a possible shower, high 73, low 45. It is 65 degrees on Montage Mountain. Montage to me means weather. Weather means Montage. 65 there. And that's your weather, brought to you by the great gang at Montage Mountain, getting ready for summer. And he said, "Is that a Picardo's watch? It's beautiful." Well, here's Alex Picardo to fill us in on what's happening on the corner of Jefferson and Spruce Street, downtown Scranton. How are you, Alex?
I'm doing good. It's a beautiful day. How are you guys?
Oh, absolutely gorgeous. Well, we talked about this a little the other day. Father's Day's coming, and people want to get stuff for Father's Day, and there's not a better place than Picardo's. And by the way, that's right, graduation season as well.
Yeah, like I said, Father's Day, graduation season. We're stocked up and ready. Everything we have is brand new. You'll never come in here and see anything stale on our shelves. We pack it. We have large inventory, especially in the new Long Jeans Hydro Conquest, one of the hottest watches in the nation right now. I have all of them in stock.
Nice.
And then, ladies, don't forget, we're known for our watches, but we carry excellent jewelry, from engagement rings to necklaces to bracelets to children and baby jewelry. Now we have it all.
It really is a beautiful store. Who did you guys design that store yourselves? It is awesome.
Actually, we did. Our engineer helped us with a little bit, but everything, when you walk in, it was our idea. Very comforting, homey, laid back, relaxing atmosphere. A little bar, which you know.
Yep.
And yeah, it's very.
Well,
homey
don't
and
say it
welcoming,
like that, like I know.
You gotta have some coffee with you, right?
You know, and people forget. I'm old enough to remember. That location was a gas station.
It originally was a gas station. Yes, it was. We still have that picture hanging in our back office.
Yeah, how neat. The
Really
vision
cool.
of that, and you'd clearly outgrown your Spruce Street store down the street. And,
Yeah.
man, that was like plunging into the brave new world. Were you full-time in the business when they moved?
That was around 18 years ago when we bought the new property, and yeah, I was there.
Wow.
That was the first shop I remember as a kid. That was my playground upstairs. And we miss it. We miss our grandfather, and but we're very happy we did the move. And both times when we first moved in, it was when the economy went down and we were nervous. But for our wonderful customers and the support of the city, we're still here, thank God.
Well, you know what? I say this about other businesses, but it's specifically also about Picardo's. If to be still booming after 3 generations and all these years, how many years is it now?
Oh, we're close to 100 years open for business.
That's incredible. Like, you have to be honest and you have to be great at what you do. You have to be both.
We pride ourselves in our servicing and our pricing. And, again, we wouldn't be here if we weren't like that. We can't make everybody happy. We're just normal people, but we really do try.
Wow.
And we've been around a long time, and it's hard work. Our whole life and soul goes into this building, and we try to give it back to you guys.
Love it. Picardo Jewelers, downtown Scranton, any kind of gift. And by the way, if you're thinking of any kind of gift, go there. They've got it at all price ranges, right, Alex?
Anything at all, from besides Father's Day and graduation, anything you can think of. We even do wedding specials. We sell the knives, the serving plate. We do it all. We do in-house engraving. That's me. So whatever your need is, we have it. And you come in, our prices are right, and we take care of you. And if you need the help, we could do financing, we can do layaway, whatever it is to get you into that product, we can do it.
Beautiful. Alex, thank you so much. Have a great day and a great weekend. And if you want a great weekend for somebody else, go to Picardo's and buy them something. If you want a great weekend for yourself, go to Picardo's and buy something. Thank you, man.
For me. I'm here. Thank you.
I appreciate it. And he is there. Believe me, he is. Alex Picardo. Hey, we got a call that I've got to take. The Archangels. We had the gang from Ark in here early in the week, and following up is our man Zachary Kongvold. Zach, tell us what's happening. Remind us of the event.
This Archangels is about the Little Mermaid, and I got the role of Prince Eric. It's going to be an amazing show.
And it's June 7th, right? What? No. What date is it? June 7th? Thursday, June 7th?
June 11th.
June 11th. Thank you for correcting me. And you're playing who again now?
Prince Eric.
Oh, and Prince Eric. How neat is that? Well, this is fun. I mean, you've done a lot of work, Zach, to get ready for this.
Yeah.
A lot of practice it took.
Yeah.
Do you like being on stage?
Yes, I do.
You're a ham, are you? That's going to be great. Lackawanna College's People's Security Trust Theater in the evening, starting at about 6:30 at Lackawanna College. The ARC is going to be putting on their annual play, their annual theater production. And Zachary's going to be there. I'm going to be there. Chewy's going to be there. Lissa's going to be there. We're excited to be with you, all the radio station people. Are you going to hang around with me that night, Zachary?
Yes.
I love it. Well, we're so happy you called in to remind us of all of this. It's an important show. It's fun. It's heartwarming. It's exciting to me. And I know you'll be now tell me, you were in the studio. What was your favorite part of coming down to the radio stations?
I would say you. Hey, it is KRG.
And
This is my first one, though, review, though.
Yeah.
Because I missed the Tuesday one.
Well, we're going to get you again, and we look forward to it. Thank you so much. Zachary Kongvold, Archangels on Stage, June 11th, Thursday night. Man electrical band, Murph tells. Oh, 5-man electrical band. Murph tells us this date, 1971. They're moving up the charts with their hit Signs. Bob Cordaro with you. And yesterday we played a song, Alive and Kickin'. And my man Mark Mayer said back in the 80s, he was bartending in the Hamptons. And he and our friend Charles and his buddy Murph would go to Hot Dog Beach. And that Alive and Kickin' would be playing. That's funny. Oh, and they were live out there. Every Sunday at the Bordy Barn. That's why we do the music history. That's why we do the music history. I'm telling you. My man Art W. says, he reads from Colossians. This is on the aliens. It says, God is the creator of everything that exists. The physical, tangible universe, the world, stars, humanity, and the spiritual, invisible realm, such as angels, principalities, and heavenly powers. Art says, my theory on aliens and Bigfoot and whatever else we can't explain. God knows it, and that's good enough for me. I like that. That's sort of where I come down on it too, RW. By the way, Brother Mike texted in, and you just have to Google it, General Winter, Russia. And I, for whatever reason, now he's married to a former Russian citizen who's now an American. So that I get. But I never heard of it before. But it is understood in Russia in particular. It's General Winter or General Frost, historical or cultural term referring to the harsh, brutal winter climate of Russia. Famous for its role in thwarting massive invasions, Napoleon and Hitler in particular. Fascinating. I tell you this, what do I say? I said we've got to have a laugh. We've got to learn something. We've got to become justifiably outraged, and we've got to be inspired. So Zachary from ARC inspired me. I laugh generally at everything. I've learned something, and we play those pieces from West Austin and others so you can become outraged. And back to the Hillary thing. Hillary Clinton. She says she was named after Sir Edmund Hillary. Now, nobody knew who he was in 1947 when she was born. Nobody. She actually, it's like Biden with why he ran for office. It's like Paige Cagnetti, why she ran for office. She said it was the big, beautiful bill. And the lie about the cuts in Medicaid and Medicare. These people, you can't make them up. You can't make up any more lunacy than them. You can't make it up. Hillary didn't even know. She made up something about her, why she was named Hillary. They're all cut from the same cloth. Sad. Well, you'd have to be to espouse what they espouse. Exhausting. Well, my Picardo Jewelers watch, and you heard about the new long jeans. We also heard about the ball watches the other day from our man Alex Picardo. You got to check out the new watches they're getting in. And it's always fresh. And the jewelry, just awesome. Just awesome. Picardo Jewelers. They tell me it's time for the news. Let's do it. And then we'll be back. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. And that's who we're fighting against. The Democrat insanity. That's their choice for judges. They're nuts. Great good morning, everyone. Thank you, Levon. It is 11:09 a.m. on my Picardo Jewelers watch this beautiful Friday, May 29, the year of our Lord 2026 here in the great Northeast. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he, and it's a big day to fight for America, defend our values, and honor, with the help of our man John Basiliga and his great Basiliga Hospitality Group, the brave who have made us and kept us free. People like veterans we've lost this year, but celebrate today, thanks to John, like Ronald Anderson, Madison Township, Donald Naughton, Dunmore by way of North Scranton, Michael Paisley, Hazleton, Robert Chereniak, Sugarloaf, Frank Bannon, Kingston and South Wilkes-Barre, and Paul Bittler, Bloomsburg. So with history, our amazing founding fathers, and the incomparable Constitution of the United States of America as our guides, let us continue today's battle. Gaveling back to order this meeting of the Club for Common Sense, promising you that our deep and unalterable commitment to common sense will provide a sanctuary of sanity to all who hearken here. Did you hear this woman? This is the kind of insanity they're trying to foist upon us. And I didn't follow it up, but that woman became a federal judge. This is the kind of sickness. By the way, a federal judge ruled against Trump's $1.8 billion fund for those who, weaponization fund they call it, for those who were prosecuted wrongfully or too harshly in the Biden administration. And there's many of those. But I don't get it. Is it really a priority in the midst of everything going on? I mean, whatever. But that's the kind of judge. She even went against the what they would call their prison board, which denied this scumbag's request to go to a woman's prison. They said, "Are you out of your mind?" And this judge said, "Oh, no. He says she's a woman now. Let her in a woman's prison. This child rapist, this teenager rapist, this violent savage who's mentally ill very clearly. No, let him go to a woman's prison to wreak havoc." That's who we're dealing with. Please remember that. And that, by the way, that's who your Democrat Party will give you to be judges. That's who they choose. Don't forget it. And I mean that specifically for Democrats. This is what they've become. That's why I always say, you don't have to change your party. Just please, dear God, for the sake of the country, change your party. So as we start this hour, we remind you can catch us on YouTube under the Bob Cordaro Show, WILK. For today, Roach Supply brings you that. They're the premier bath and kitchen supplier in Northeast Pennsylvania. 75 years in business. Nonagenarian Ron Roach, a veteran, working alongside two younger generations who are getting it done. Visit Roach Supply, ROCHE, RoachSupply.com today. You'll be amazed at what they have, and their sister company, Chapman Supply, in Clark Summit also. Tom from Dallas. How much would the toll be, meaning at the Strait of Hormuz, if Iran had a nuclear weapon? Because Kamala would definitely have let them obtain the 11 nukes the Iranians bragged about being close to having. By the way, so would most of the Republicans. That isn't a party thing. That's a weakness thing that's gone on for 47 years. Post Donald Trump. It's been swept under the rug, particularly from the Clinton years on. Tom continues, Trump is trying to fix a 47-year mess that career politicians made. Don't forget our horrible State Department. They made it and they accelerated it with dumb policies, Tom says. You may not agree with what's going on in Iran and the timing, but let's let the man cook, meaning Trump, and don't complain about the food before the chef has made it. I know gas prices are high, but we've dealt with way higher prices than gas for a lot less. Yes, for the fake climate change gang who made a fortune off of it. Somebody texting in, I can't verify this, but they say it's on Facebook. Federal agents raiding numerous locations today. Irishtown, Edwardsville. And if you're here illegally, you're here illegally, and you got to go. Somebody said this Iran nonsense has been going on for 45 years, started under incompetent Jimmy Carter, who said he did not want to spill any Iranian blood. Carter, a good man, way better than Biden, but he wasn't a strong or a good leader. Yep, he was awful. But at least he wasn't, at least he wasn't a sickening, corrupt disgrace like Biden. Bulldog, somebody reminding us. Bob Hope's birthday tomorrow. So can we play Zombies to Liberals? Remember that piece we played before, Bulldog? Let's do it for good old Bob Hope. By the way, and I saw this, I can't remember who sent me. I wish I could remember on the top of my head. But it was, and he didn't hire all 87,000 IRS agents. But the point our listeners reminding me of is, someone asked, how come Biden's 87,000 new IRS agents didn't find all this fraud in federal government spending all across the country? Billions of dollars. Billions upon billions upon billions of dollars. Crazy stuff. And somebody said it's like Trump saying his father was born in Germany when he actually was born in New York. No, it isn't. It isn't like that at all. Do you talk about Hillary? It's not like it at all. You got your name from, you say that you got your name, and in speeches all over the place. Because it fit your narrative, you're climbing a mountain, Hillary's saying. She was born in 1957. Sir Edmund Hillary got to the top of Mount Everest in 1953. She claimed that's who she was named after. Nobody knew who he was, including Hillary and her parents. Believe me, not possible. Somebody said, Bob, check your messenger later. I've got too many messages on my Facebook Messenger. I just can't. I can't do it. I can't go through them all. There's got to be 500. My apologies, but I can't. You got to send it by email. Robert.Cordaro, C-O-R-D-A-R-O, Robert.Cordaro, C-O-R-D-A-R-O, at Audacy, A-U-D-A-C-Y. Okay? I'm never going to find it on Facebook. I've almost given up on Facebook because there's so many fake accounts and all that kind of stuff. Speaking of fraud in Minnesota, $21 million stolen by 2 Somali women that was meant for autistic kids. Yep, they are our neighbors and friends, just here for a better life. You nailed it. You nailed it. All right. Hey, let's quickly go to Pete from Shavertown regarding the parade and anniversary in Plymouth tomorrow. Pete, thanks for calling back. Talk to me, man.
Hey, Thanks, Bob. Good morning. Happy Friday. On a lighter note,
Yes.
hey, I did want to follow up your invitation to call back and remind visitors
Yes.
about this weekend's event down in the town of Plymouth, where we'll be celebrating the 150th anniversary, of course, of this great nation, Plymouth's 160th birthday, and the 40th anniversary of Plymouth Historical Society, who is a prime sponsor of the event. It takes place tomorrow, Saturday, from 11 a.m., beginning of the parade at the lower end of Plymouth, lower end being West Main Street, down near Hometown Market, and then proceeds up to the middle of town. It does run through 4. There'll be lots of food vendors and music, as well as stuff for the kiddies. So we got a full day planned, and we want to invite everybody in the Valley to come out and show their patriotism and celebrate the day with us.
And Plymouth, I've said this when we spoke last. I know from the Kielbasa Fest that Plymouth knows how to throw a party.
No question about it. Yeah, Kielbasa's become our spot on the map, but as I think today too, it's pretty famous for a lot of towns in this valley for its links to the mining industry, and Plymouth. One of its big claims to fame is it being the first anthracite coal mine in the country, commercial coal mine in the country. And so there's a lot of history there. The Historical Society, again, is a prime sponsor of the event. They'll be open during the day, and they've got a great treasure trove of a lot of history of this valley. So we want everybody to come on out. It'll be a fun time. It sounds like looks like the weather's going to cooperate. So we're inviting everybody in.
Fascinating stuff. Well, Pete, thank you. Tomorrow is from 11 o'clock on. Be in Plymouth or be square. Thank you.
There you go.
All right,
thanks,
my
Bob.
man. Appreciate it. Have a great time. We've got to take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. We will be back. Murph tells us this date, 1971, the Rolling Stones had the number one hit with Brown Sugar. They also had the number one album with Sticky Fingers. Bob Cordaro back with you on the program, reminding you this hour brought to you by Tina Morocco. She's Global Sales Advisor at Sotheby's International Realty, Naples, Florida. You can reach her at Sotheby's International in Naples, or go right to the source. Tina Morocco, Muracco, TinaMorocco.com, or Tina Morocco on any social media. She'll be there. She's your trusted guide for Florida real estate, specializing in Southwest Florida. The best. Somebody says, somebody would text in, Bob, not only do the Democrats put men and women in women's prisons, they want you to pay for sex changes too. Not somebody, Tom from Dallas. It's insanity. Now, somebody texts us in, lane restrictions. We'll have to get Tyler on this from June 1st till June 5th, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. We're going to have traffic, so that's next week. Be prepared. Somebody said earlier you liked Ricky Nelson's song. He was a great tennis player. As Johnny Carson was, I did not know that. Supposedly could have been ranked in the top 10 players in the world. How about that? Bob Kadlabuski tells us he's at some headquarters for a press conference starting in about 10 to 20 minutes. Wilkes-Barre Police Department. Okay, that's what it is. Wilkes-Barre Police Department, federal, state officials on today's raids. So in about 10 minutes, I know we'll have that on the news. All right, let's quickly go to Donald from Pittston. Politics and the state of the Democrat Party. How are you, man?
Yeah, this is crazy because I remember talking to you in like 2020. This transgender thing came on with Biden. He brought Levine there after Jen Psaki left, and the press secretary, because she came in with the binders. Well, she wasn't the press
secretary. She was right. The health.
No, yeah, I know her, but the press secretary too was the transgender. So
she's a lesbian. She's lesbian, not transgender. Meaning binder.
Right. Yeah. So they're the ones that were promoting this, the two of them, and because there was nobody home, we know that. But why are we continuing down the road of this? To me, this is like total chaos. This is by foreign powers. They're trying to, if you have the insight like you, which you do, you're a smart guy like me. It's like a modern-day Babylon.
Yep.
Where you could identify constant chaos as a cat, a dog, a horse. And this is what they want to do with society. You can see it. It's so obvious. These people on the left, like if you look at a candidate like Tallarico, why would you even put somebody? He looks like some kind of a...
He's Alfred E. Newman.
Cupcake or something. I know a face like a cupcake, and everything he says is nonsense about guy being binary. Why would you want to teach that nonsense? Is the guy in the United States Senate? That could be like a step away from the presidency.
Remember, though, what we talked about. There's a whole gang of people who were sucking the teat of government at all levels. They've become... They're not a political party. They're just for more government for their job or their union or their NGO or nonprofit, which is sucking horribly on the government teat. Second, you've got these billionaires, Soros. You've got Singham. They hate America. You've got the Arabella Group. They hate America, trying to achieve cultural destruction of America, and they're the main funders of the Democrat Party. That's why the Democrats have gone lunatic. Follow the money.
But the replacement would be like Iran. Come over here. Their first heads they cut off are the media and them people. They don't realize that. They get rid of. They kill their own people. It's ridiculous to do this to this country. And they have this Trump TDS. Fetterman hit the nail right on the head. At least he has the decency to tell the truth, and they hate him.
Amen.
This is terrible. I don't know who's behind this. Like this party was never
Well, I
like
told
this.
you the
Bob.
money.
Come on.
The money that I just
Oh, you
mentioned is
can't be
behind
that
it.
insane where you're mutilating kids, and who could think of such policies like that? You don't want to leave it alone. You're still pushing this, and now they're going to pass a law in Luzerne County, a $500 fine if you try to stop them. You got to spend all this money on lawsuits.
Yep.
The whole these people that must have came from foreign countries and they're put here by big money to just destroy our country. It's so
Yep.
obvious to see. Anybody that studied law school or anything, they're the exact opposite of what this America was built on. And it's going to take the Jeff Bezos and the other ones
Donald,
to put an end to it.
the saddest part of all of it is that they are trying to destroy the country. They're saying so. They just couch it in terms like reimagining America and transforming America, started by Barack Obama. It's sick, it's twisted, and they own the Democrat Party. Hey, 11:32 on McCardo's Watch. We've got to go to break. We want to hear from our great sponsors. We'll come back with the Veterans Tribute, the weather, and then you at 570-883-0098. Our Veterans Tribute brought to you, as always, by our man John Basiliga. And on Fridays, we feature, of course, the Basiliga Hospitality Group. Think about these two mansions in downtown Wilkes-Barre. The Fred Stegmeyer Mansion is now the premier bed and breakfast in the country. And the Mary Stegmeyer Mansion is as good an event space and an old school restaurant, incredible experience, also on South Franklin Street, downtown Wilkes-Barre. Fine dining in a more modern setting, you go to a Terra 519, your jaw will drop. 519 Linden Street, Scranton. Sergey's right underneath, the nightclub. The nightclub. Always hopping. It'll be big tonight. Then you got the 3-bar restaurants. Old Brook Inn, totally reimagined. 307 Springbrook Township. Far Street Tavern, the same thing. It's always been amazing, always been a great place. The Colorasi family made it an institution. Well, it's reimagined and as good and better than ever. And then the Queen City Tavern in downtown Oliphant. You got to check these places out, I'm telling you. Frank Bannon. He was 83 when we lost him May 7th. He was from Kingston, a long-time resident of South Wilkes-Barre. He was born in Wilkes-Barre, graduate of Elmer Myers High School. I love when they say that. Wilkes-Barre. Served his country proudly in the U.S. Air Force at Wordsmouth Air Force Base, Michigan, where he also met his wife, Isabel. They were married more than 62 years. He came home to work as a machinist with R&H Manufacturing, Edwardsville. He worked there for 38 years until his retirement in 2002. He was an avid bowler, very proud of rolling the first league-sanctioned perfect game 300 in the Wyoming Valley at Stanton Lanes. Wow. Lifelong member of the Furwood United Methodist Church. Most of all, he was a loving husband, devoted father, and friend to all who knew him. He'll be sadly missed by his wife of 62 years, Isabel. His 7 children, his grandchildren, 7 grandchildren, and 2 great-grandchildren. Frank Bannon. Paul Bittler, he was 87. We lost him Saturday, January 24th. Decorated Air Force veteran, 22 years. Also a retired Virginia police officer. He was from Bloomsburg. Graduate of Millville High School. During his time in the Air Force, his 22 years, he served 2 tours in Vietnam, was awarded the Bronze Star, the Defense Commendation Medal, and the Air Force Commendation Medal with 1 oak leaf cluster. After that retirement, he worked at Naval Weapons Station, Yorktown, Virginia, for 16 years. After retiring from there, he served in the Newport News Police Department for 5 years, an additional 10 for their auxiliary police department. Paul was an international harvester, antique collector, completely refurbishing 2 Farmall tractors. He enjoyed playing classical and country music on his guitar. Survived by his daughter and her husband, his adopted daughter, Jeanette, 2 adopted grandchildren, a grandson, siblings, all local. Paul Bittler, our amazing veterans, this hour and this day, brought to you by John Basiliga and Basiliga Hospitality Group. AccuWeather forecast brought to you by Montage Mountain, the place for year-round fun. Today, sun followed by some clouds, pleasant, breezy this afternoon, high of 78. Tonight, a shower becoming windier, low 46. Tomorrow, Saturday, windy and cooler with clouds giving way to some sun, high 66, low 42. Sunday, warmer with intervals of clouds and sunshine. A nice day for outdoor activities. On Sunday, 75 degrees, low 50. Monday, mostly sunny with a passing shower in the afternoon, 71 degrees, low 48. Next Tuesday, sunshine and some clouds, shower possible, 73, low 45 degrees. And that's your weather, brought to you by the gang at Montage Mountain. Get ready for summer. It's happening up there, and it's 68 degrees right now at Montage. Good conservative Alice Cooper. Murph tells us this date, 1972. Alice Cooper released his hit Schools Out. Bob Cordaro back. And, of course, for some of you who didn't know, that is JFK honoring and calling Harry Truman. I wouldn't say they're the last two great national Democrats because there were others that followed them. And but I just saw that conversation, ran across it, and said, we got to play it for the gang. That's when the Democrats were normal, completely normal, under both their presidencies. You could disagree with them on a lot of things, but they were normal. Hey, let's go to Joe from Berwick. Hey, Joe, how are you?
Yes, hello, Bob. Hey, I wanted to comment on something you were talking about with this transgenderism in jail, because it's something I personally have experience in.
Me too.
And I
Me too, by the way.
Yeah, well, if first of all, the Republicans need to do exactly what Mr. Kennedy did and call this stuff out as loudly and as just vocally as he does.
And by the way, all the Democrats voted for this person to become a judge.
Oh,
nuts!
Oh, I know, and really, it needs to be called out, because if the American people are actually dumb enough to go along with this and believe it's okay, then, as I often hear you say, we're done at that point. There's no hope if people are dumb enough to go along with this. So here's what I personally experienced. Towards the end of my career, under Obama and then later under Biden, the Justice Department and here the Department of Corrections here in our state, they started to cater to this nonsense. And you started to see individuals who were not just gay or other oriented, because those sorts of individuals have always existed, even in prisons. These are people who, as you said, most of the time were violent people. They were violent, vile people. And they used this issue simply as a way of sticking a fork in the eye, if you will, of the system that they were sent to as part of their punishment. In other words, this was their way of getting back at society. And what they did is they cost all kinds of money, because when they were catered to, it was never enough.
Never.
So they always had to do something more, and there was always something more. And in one case here in Pennsylvania, and a lot of people don't know this, but I'd be willing to go to court to testify of it, because I know that I've got the facts on my side. An individual actually was transferred to a women's prison and surprise, surprise, was having sex with one of the inmates, and then they had to go back and scrub all the records and say, "Oh, we investigated it. It was consensual. Nobody was harmed, and this was a big mistake. This person was transferred in error." No, they weren't. They were directly approved by the Secretary of Corrections at that time, but it was covered up.
It's part of the left wing. We've got to go, but Joe, I'm happy you brought it up, particularly since you've had the experience in the prison system of many years. But it's insanity. It's intended to undermine our culture and our country, and we've got to stop it. Thank you, man. We'll take a break. We'll be back. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. The Police. Murph tells us this date, 1983, released their great hit, Every Breath You Take. We're going to finish, and it's just for the hell of it, huh? The Starland Vocal Band. Murph tells us this date, 1976, they were moving up the charts with Afternoon Delight. And I said, Bulldog said, what's the last song? I said, why not? Teddy Daniels, you heard him on the show. Well, I think it was this week. And he's got an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal today regarding this scumbag, Graham Plattner, that is going to be the Democrat nominee for U.S. Senate in Maine, who wished that he died. That's the guy who jerks off in the and pleasures himself in the for some reason in the porta potties, like a sick bastard. This is the Democrat nominee. You take him, you take the Islamist sicko from Michigan and James Tallarico from Texas, and you say, man, this is the Democrat Party. Oh, yeah, that and the judge we featured. They're sick. And they're bought and paid for by billionaires intent on destroying the country, and they are more than happy to help. So good for you, Teddy Daniels. Firing back at this a-hole. Speaking of, when I want to think of the scum, let's go to Mother Teresa, St. Teresa, for today. She says, we are here to be witnesses of love and to celebrate life because life has been created in the image of God. Life is to love and to be loved. That's why we all have to take a strong stand so that no child, boy or girl, will be rejected or unloved. Every child is a sign of God's love. Thank you, Mary Regina. Happy we got that in because it's, we're running out of time. Biden banner disgrace, day 166, the Green Ridge Neighborhood Association. And please contact them on Facebook and tell them your thoughts with polite language, but be firm. They put up a banner for Joe Biden on the hometown hero, designed only for veterans. He was not a veteran. He dodged service. So not only is he a disgrace and a fool and a corrupt scumbag, he's being honored as a veteran when he is not. And it's day 166 of this disgrace. Take the banner down, Green Ridge Neighborhood Association. You're disgraceful. So we're going to finish with Afternoon Delight. Just a funny song. Somebody texted in, Bob, if this transgender ideology and agenda is enacted, our entire society will be destroyed. Just think a sick, demented person in charge like Joe Biden or Randy Weingarten taking your child and transitioning them without parents' consent with no legal actions to stop or prosecute them. Game of life over. You're right. And it's very important to always note this. Gender dysphoria exists. It's real. And they have every right, someone with gender dysphoria, to make a choice for themselves as adults. But that doesn't give them any special privileges. Men and girls sports and men and girls locker rooms. It doesn't give them any special, or bathrooms. It doesn't give them any special privileges. I'm not tall enough to be an NBA power forward. Okay, I'll live with it. You were born with gender dysphoria. Okay. There's limitations on what you could do. You don't get to do everything you want to do. Please know this. Stop it. Stop the insanity. And they are being funded by people who want to destroy the country and know that this is the route to go. Insanity. Well, it's almost time. I'm not even going to get to read the policeman's prayer because it's 11:59 on my Bacardo's watch. But tomorrow never comes. Norman Cornett Merrick. Just a reminder to reach out to someone you once cared for, that you currently love, and not forget about them. It was in the great obituary for Doreen Gorey a couple of years back. If I knew it would be the last time I'd see you walk out the door, I'd give you a hug and kiss and call you back for just one more. If I knew it would be the last time, I would spare an extra minute or two to stop and say I love you instead of assuming you know I do. So just in case tomorrow never comes and today is all I get, I'd like to say how much I love you. And I hope we will never forget. Tomorrow isn't promised to anyone young or old alike, and today may be the last chance you get to hold your loved one tight. So if you're waiting for tomorrow, why not do it today? For if tomorrow never comes, you'll surely regret the day that you didn't take that extra time for a smile, a call, a text, a hug, or a kiss, and you were too busy to grant someone what turned out to be their final wish. So hold your loved ones close today and whisper in their ear that you love them very much and you'll always hold them dear. Take the time to say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, or it's okay. And if tomorrow never comes, you'll have no regrets about today. Guys, have a great weekend. Be safe. Have fun if you can. God willing, I'll be with you on Monday, 9 a.m. If not, who knows, right? We never know. Tomorrow never comes. But have a great weekend. Have a great afternoon. Club for Common Sense adjourned for the weekend.